Welcome to the final day of Beast Wars week. Guys, I'll talk about the reveals on Wednesday. Stop asking. Anyways, this is a weird way to end it, huh? This is the 8th day of the first week of October, and it being the 3rd Beast Wars week even though I've only been doing this for 2 years. How does maths? And, I mean, it's such a strange topic to be the final video of the week this year. The Creatures Collide box is only barely related to Beast Wars. I mean, it has one repaint of a Beast Wars figure to be a character who never was, in really any sense of the word, and one repaint and retool of the worst figure in Kingdom to be the toy version of the Beast Wars character. This is flimsy justification at best. But at the same time, I mean, it's the 8th day of Beast Wars week 2022. I feel like it kind of mutating out back towards being a normal video makes sense. And it being the last day of the week this year, I better not forget this time. I would like to say that it's because I'm covering a Scorponok in this video, but no, I originally planned on doing this to open Beast Wars week this year. Well, I say originally, but I've been planning on doing this for 7 months. I bought this back on the 1st of April specifically to give you guys some context, because it was on sale back then for $22, meaning that the best deluxe Scorponok was now deluxe price. But I just kept forgetting to give it away, largely because it was in a closet till it fell out, hit me in the face one day, bounced back into the closet, and then knocked over a stack of boxes that took me 10 minutes to fix, at which point, while thinking that this was just an empty cardboard box, I put it back in the closet, and immediately had it fall out again, knocking over the same stack of boxes again. At which point, I stomped on this package 3 times, and then I questioned why I had a blank cardboard box in my closet, so I opened up the now squished package, and to my horror, it was the thing I intended to give to you guys. But it's all good. The figure was somehow miraculously undamaged outside of the glue coming off a cosmetic piece, so I just glued that back down. And then because I'm one of those people who keeps the boxes for stuff, like some kind of psycho hoarder, I still had my old box for this figure. So I put the new figure in my old box and then threw away the squashed piece of crap I turned the old box into, so now you can have the complete and shockingly undamaged figure. So if you want to win the TE Scorponok, which is again, the hands down best version of this character to ever be released, all you need to do is email me at perspectiveendgiveaways@gmail.com. Just title the email, Kingdom Scorponok really does suck. And then, in the body of the email, tell me if you're comfortable with me announcing you as a winner of the contest. This won't affect whether or not you are selected, it just saves me from having to ask later. I think I may handle giveaways through email like this from now on. It is so much easier to go this route than to go through the comments. The question is if handling it like this hurts the video's growth, but you can expect me to do it like this again in the future. Good luck to all of you. I wish I had more than the one I got to give, but sadly, I only have this one. And Legendary Adventure. Dude! You can't just respond to me and say, yes, I still want the repro labels, and then not give me your contact information so I can mail the repro labels to you. Followed up by then just going back to not responding to my replies. I need your email address so I can get your shipping address in a confidential manner so I can send the repro labels you won. I swear if you just say, yeah, I still want them this time, without actually giving me your email, I will give these to someone else. Anyways, with that downer note complete, let's actually talk about the downer note that is the Creatures Collide box. At least with the Worlds Collide box, I knew what they were going for. Who is this? The fuck is any of this? Why is this all clear plastic? To be fair to this new set, every figure feels about 100 times nicer than the Worlds Collide figures did. In fact, they are largely better than their source material. The plastic feels way better to the touch and the joints are all smooth as butter. But Skywasp, in his new garish color scheme, is still a conundrum to me. Why was Waspinator crossed with Skywarp? Where did the red and gold of his new color scheme come from? Why does it remind me of something locked deep within my memories? Why did they not choose the obviously superior name of Warpspinator? These mysteries may never be solved. It is weird every time I think of this figure that I'm entirely dismissive of it. Like, why would anyone want this? It's such a dumb idea with colors that don't mean anything. They're just edgy and boring. And then I look at it, and I just think to myself, you will have to pry this from my cold dead hands if you want to take it from me. In memories, the paint scheme seems to dull immensely, but when you are staring at it, this boy styles so hard, everywhere but the legs. They did not give a single crap, damn, or fuck when they hit the knees. They were just done with this. Head's doing great though. I think there are more varieties of paint here than on the normal Kingdom Waspinator. You got the gold of the forehead crest, the red of the head tentacles, oh no! And then what appears to be a domino mask. Weird, but okay. Now for the other one, we are taking a look back on what has to be the worst Kingdom figure. Sure, Rhinox is hideous and unfun, but so is this, and it's also worse. At least the parent mold is. Though to be fair, I have been perplexed for so long why people keep saying that the Sandstorm repaint of this is so much better it makes the Scorponok good. I fully disagree. If anything, it's way uglier. And even if it does fix the tolerances, it doesn't fix the transformation and alt mode, and going off this figure, it doesn't even fix the tolerances enough. And I say all that while actually liking this a ton more than the normal version. I think that it's 1, down to the fact that it's a reasonable approximation of the original toy, but 2, also just that black is a slimming color so his proportions look a lot less wacky. Like, he still has the square thighs for some reason, and I just gotta ask, why did he ever have these? They weren't this shape in the show, they weren't this shape on the original toy, and it sure as hell doesn't make the legs blend with any part of his alt mode. In fact, why is his whole build so boxy? You'd be reasonably mistaken to think that it has something to do with stuff storing in his chest in alt mode, but nope. Sure, stuff rests in his chest cavity in that mode, but it doesn't get closed in. The door opens up and it just stays open. And nothing goes in there in robot mode either. There is never anything that goes into his chest, so why is it built like this? I sincerely have to ask this question, why? Since those doors are never meant to close on anything other than in robot mode, and no matter what, the alt mode always looks shitty when viewed from direct profile. So the doors being longer doesn't help it cover up anything. Really, they should have just been shorter so the chest could have been slimmer. I don't think that would have caused any problems with the bug mode. And if it would, to hell with it, and to hell with these stupid realistic beast modes. Anyways, after all that complaining about how shitty the sculpt on this thing is, I do actually like the colors a lot. Specifically, the clear purple of his claws, legs, and shoulder pads. The translucent material is done to emulate the original toy, and it's doing a great job, making me nostalgic as hell. Plus, it looks super cool. And the sheen on all of him makes his plastic and paints look chitinous and insectoid. And the quality of all the joints and tolerances have been vastly improved, just like the other figure. This guy is still prone to falling apart, but far less so than the normal version, which was about as durable as eggshells. The Cyber Bee he comes with is also much nicer than the one the other version of Scorponaut gets, and what's weird is the missiles he comes with for some reason having maximal symbols emblazoned on them. I'm not sure if this was a mistake. Head is interesting. It's made to mimic the mutant head of the original toy, but it's not correct in the proportions to do that. It's too long in the face and it slims down too much at the top to really capture the feel 100%, though the paint is on point and the surface sculpting is pretty close to home. Overall, the look of these two is pretty great. Warp-Spinator definitely has the cooler look that should appeal to a wider variety of people, with Scorponaut just here for old fogies like me, who had the original toy growing up, but to be fair, it does look a lot better than the Kingdom version with its new colors, materials, and head. And the tolerance on both figures have been improved. I'm not going to go over accessories, as you've basically already seen all the stuff these guys come with, and I'm not going to go over posing, since I already covered that stuff in my actual reviews of the base figures, and I'm not going to talk about the transformation for the same reasons. Except to say that Waspinator doesn't really seem to be improving here. He's just as fiddly as ever. But Scorponaut is less infuriating by virtue of just not falling apart every time you look at him. It's not going to happen when you transform this guy, but it's less likely. Every step still sucks though, because it's all just half finished. And seriously, how are you supposed to get his chest to open? I can never do that part without a tool. To everyone who tries to convince me that this is a good transformation, no transformation that requires a tool is good. And in alt mode, these two kind of lose all meaning. With Warp-Spinator, by getting the bug mode up off his chest, you displace the gold so now his body is split up into thirds with the middle one only having the red wings to break it up, which doesn't work at all, leaving that part feeling particularly plain, and then the flat purple pieces are a bit more prominent now, kind of making up his core. So, not only is it just a clusterfuck of parts in there, but it also just kind of makes the whole sculpt go interesting. Maybe the red translucent could have saved it, but there just isn't enough. Impressive how much worse this thing got. What's not impressively worse, because it's what we should have been expecting, is the Scorponaut. This does look a bit cooler than the normal version, thanks to the red, black, and purple, as the surface colors spread a fair bit more evenly with this one, and the surface finish is helping. But this is still one of the all-time shittiest beast modes. It's a lot like how Titan's Return Broadside has a plank of an aircraft carrier on his back, this has a platform of a scorpion on his, and at any point below here, it's all just kibble all the way down. The bug legs are useless, the robot head is clearly visible because for some reason they had it hinged down into the chest where the legs are preventing it from going any further, rather than it going into the backpack where the cavity for the bug head now sits empty. This feels like a first draft, like none of the steps are finished because they literally never went through and finished it. I have nothing and never will have anything but loathing and utter contempt for this alt mode. It looks bad, it feels worse, it's not fun to get into, it doesn't look like the character, and that would all be bad enough, but it's dragging down a figure that was always already in the mud. And here's the thing, it's fair to say that I actually have a ton more tolerance for this figure than I do the normal version. But these two still aren't exactly selling this box set. Both have at least decent robot modes. Yes, the Scorponaut in this format I would describe as decent. The Warp-Spinator is pretty cool, but as soon as you hit the transformation for these two, they just stop being good altogether. The transformations on both of them just aren't anything I would ever choose to do for the fun of it, and neither beast mode justifies going through the process to get to its alt mode. Warp-Spinator at least remains a decent figure, just looking a bit bland, but the Scorponaut becomes, you know, Scorponaut, a miraculously shitty thing. Boy, the other two in this box are gonna have to do a lot to justify spending the money on this shitty set. Spoiler alert, they don't. And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough what I have to say. And I know, you know, what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please, share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.